I very much regret that I have no personal remembrances to share with you this evening. I share everyone's sense of loss of this remarkable man in the cause of openness, accountability, and progress in his country, particularly as I'm contemplating a line of work to advance democracy, human rights, and good governance and accountability in the Middle East. Literally days before he was stolen from all of us in this appalling way, his name was put to me as someone whose support could be of vast importance to my efforts. And for those of us who applaud and admire his work without knowing the man, our work will be to deliver his legacy. However, having returned from a conference in Bahrain today, I was struck by the numerous conversations I had with those who did know him, of the quite extraordinary personal qualities he seems to have possessed. And the title of Jamal's unfinished final column, "What the Arab World Needs Most is Free Expression," should be taken alongside his column of a year ago when he said, "Mohammed bin Salman is acting like Putin. He is imposing very selective justice. The crackdown on even the most constructive criticism, the demand for complete loyalty with a significant or else, remains a serious challenge to the Crown Prince's desire to be seen as a modern, enlightened leader." Jamal's death is a very profound moment. If the Saudi state does not deliver full accountability for his murder, the legacy will be one of terror, where all Saudis will not be free to even whisper criticisms of their leaders, even within the family or with the closest of friends. The price of dissent will have been made crystal clear. But there is another choice. His remembrance and his legacy can be bound into the policy of the Saudi state. The Saudi state can do penance for this appalling atrocity against both an individual and the principle of freedom of expression by both asserting and in practice delivering that freedom of expression in modern Saudi Arabia. The advantages are obvious for a consultative monarchy of a discussion of policy that includes criticism and dissent, that not only improves its own policy, but where a vibrancy of debate and discussion can generate the ideas and initiatives to sustain enlightened reform. To this end, and not only to ensure these substantial British interests engaged with Saudi Arabia are not toxified entirely by association with a slide into terror, they must be leveraged to promote and advance the best of our values, which are universal, and to help deliver transparent reform in Saudi Arabia. At this moment of truth, Britain should consider every possible measure to try and make Jamal's dream for Saudi Arabia a reality. There are some obvious first steps. Release the women's rights activists. End the death penalty. Reverse the criminalisation of satire. Don't define all your opponents as terrorists. If debate and freedom of expression brings violent repression, who is the terrorist in the proper meaning of the word? Jamal was a patriot who simply started to question his government's policies. And it's not as though he was some disinterested observer. He served in London as press advisor to Prince Turki Al Faisal before going to Washington, one of the kingdom's most impressive leaders. He also served as editor of the Saudi daily Al Watan until 2010. And until June 2017, Jamal remained an important voice in the kingdom and supported both a crackdown on corruption and many of Mohammed bin Salman's ambitious reforms for his country. Jamal entered self-imposed exile last year after being banned from tweeting and for simply speaking his mind. Of course, his criticism hurt, as it was so well informed. And if his legacy is that such criticism must be crushed, one weeps in every sense for the future of his country. The next few days and weeks are vital to the future of the whole of the region and its people, and we should spare no effort to not only honour Jamal's memory, but to deliver his legacy.